So the Leadership Consortium owes its name and its origin from the fact that a consortium is in essence a grouping and a collective of ideas and thoughts. And it's embedded in the fact that leadership per se is not normally in the hands of one person. It should be a collective, it should involve different perspectives, it should involve a broad spectrum of what is possible from the leadership perspective. The Zenger-Folkman family of colleagues around the world represent a broad group of people who are playing in the leadership space. And our Australian colleagues, Terry Reynolds and Glenn Price, have done a magnificent job in putting together a set of podcasts that address the questions and the recipes within the Zenger-Folkman methodology. These podcasts represent step-by-step, short, bite-sized, normally about 3 to 4 minutes, ideas, concepts, and tips and tricks as to how we can build our extraordinary leadership. So our invitation is to enjoy these podcasts, squeeze as much value as you can out of them, and make it part of building your leadership stepway to extraordinary. The 13th podcast raises a gem within our research base that highlights the fact that by working on specific focused talents and strengths, we can produce dramatic results. One of the gems of this research shows that we can move from the 24th to the 64th percentile. That amounts to a 30% improvement in our leadership effectiveness by focusing on just one strength. Within the context of our South African landscape, this fact alone offers massive opportunity for us to really adopt and build our leadership capability.
Welcome to the Leadership Digital podcast series with Glenn Price and Terry Reynolds. Imagine receiving the results of a 360-degree assessment that shows your ratings as slightly above average on all of the competencies. You may feel relatively pleased, but you might not feel so pleased if your child came home from school with all C+ on his or her report card. Our results show that just a few strengths can have a dramatic positive effect on the perception of a leader's effectiveness, but only when a competency stands out. We wanted to understand how strengths impacted overall leadership effectiveness, so we went and asked some people. What would you guess the overall effectiveness percentile would be for people with no strengths? Most people indicated that they thought a leader with no noteworthy strengths would be rated on average at the 50th percentile. However, our study of over 8,000 leaders shows that these leaders actually receive ratings at the 34th percentile. In other words, possessing no strengths plunges you to the bottom third in terms of perceived overall leadership effectiveness. Why are leaders with no area of strength perceived to be in the bottom third? It's because they lack a redeeming quality, skill, or ability. They may not be ineffective at anything, but they're also not terribly effective at anything. Leaders with just one strength move from the 34th percentile, ricocheting right up to the 64th percentile on average. Imagine a 30% increase just for possessing one leadership strength. This shows the powerful influence of being good at any one competency. Our research shows that leaders with 3 strengths are rated up to the 81st percentile, while leaders with 5 strengths rate in the top 10% at the 91st percentile. When we have challenged leaders to move from the 50th percentile to the 90th percentile, their response most often was that it seemed impossible. Their perception was that they would need to be perfect in almost every competency to achieve such a high rating. This clearly is not so. We found that to be at the 90th percentile simply requires a leader to be highly skilled at 4 or 5 competencies. And this seemed much more achievable to most aspiring and inspiring leaders. To improve in a manageable number of areas, firstly, push yourself to improve. Possessing even one strength causes performance ratings to improve drastically. 2, don't overextend yourself. There are limits to what you can accomplish. Don't try to change everything all at once. We suggest you focus on improving in no more than 3 areas at a time. And last of all, focus on getting to great. Becoming an extraordinary leader is not impossible, but the first step is knowing where to concentrate your energies.
It's a pleasure to be able to share these thoughts and ideas with you and hopefully be part of allowing you to adopt a journey where extraordinary leadership is an opportunity and a growth area for you and your teams.